Yes, yeah. Yes. Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yes.
Yes, visible. And
So just we had an introductory session in the last class. So just I'll take 5 minutes what we discussed previously and we'll continue. Fine. So Azure Data Engineer, why data engineer and how data engineer is different from a traditional ETL developer, and role of Azure Data Engineer roles and responsibilities, various Azure Data Engineering products and services that we use here, and job market of Azure Data Engineer. Yes, cloud is majorly utilized for storing, retrieving, and delivering data. Various cloud service providers like AWS, one second, AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle Cloud, Salesforce, VMware, Liquid Web, Alibaba Cloud, Rackspace, DigitalOcean. Most companies are preferring, right? Most of the companies preferring, right? Azure, AWS, and GCP are the mostly preferred, right? Yes. And why to choose here in our course, we are going with a cloud called Azure. Why we to go for Azure Cloud? Why to go for the Azure Cloud, right? Yes. So Azure is the little cheaper compared to other. It is the fastest, biggest network in the world and high performance petabyte bandwidth, separation of storage and compute, flexible pricing, customization options available, right? Scalability, you can increase and decrease as per the data requirement. Free trials, it is giving some services are free for lifetime, some services are free for 1 year, some are free for 1 month. So data engineer, he deals with the data. Today's world is flooded with data. Data has got experience and data has got future reference. Data as future reference. Data engineer deals with the data management. Data engineer deals with data management, that is data storage and data processing. Data engineer should be able to work with all varieties of data. It should be able to work with structured data. So data engineer, how is different from a traditional ETL developer? ETL developer mostly working with structured data. But in the case of data engineer, you should be able to handle structured data, be able to handle unstructured data, semi-structured data. You should be able to handle NoSQL data, not only SQL, right? Like and also like streaming data and also working with all formats of the data, right? Yes. Data engineering involves, right? Handling, if it totally deals with the data, handling the data, ingesting data, extracting data, sorting, storing data, filtering data, transforming data, processing data, merging data, sorting data, grouping, and analyzing. It involves how we extract data, what are the sources from where we extract the data, how to process the data, and what is the destination of the data. A data engineer designs and maintains an organization's entire data infrastructure. Data engineers, with the help of cloud services, they work on the data, make it structured and useful. Data engineers responsible for smooth data flow from the source to destination. See, I was talking difference between data engineer and data scientist. Data scientist strategizes for the future, recommendations for the future. He analyzes the data, he identifies the key patterns, but recommendations for the future. Data scientist performs data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clustering, data recommendations. On the other side, data analyst we have got is going to summarize the data of the past, analyzing the data and visualizing the data, right? That is the work of data analyst. And data scientist, data engineer, right? Yes, does all the groundwork for data scientist and analyst. More than 70% of data analysis work is done by data engineers. If you talk about the why we go for cloud as compared with on-premises, in case if you go with on-premise, without cloud, if you go for on-premise, you need to set up everything. You need to set up your own hardware infrastructure, OS installation, purchasing of database license, installation of database server, designing database objects. All this you need to do. But again, to maintain all these separate teams are there. Hardware team, operating system team, networking team, security team, and database administrators. But here, everything in the cloud premises. We no need to maintain all this. No need to maintain any infrastructure. No need of any licenses. Everything in the cloud. Everything in the cloud premises. Why Azure Data Engineer in demand? Why Azure Data Engineer is in demand today, right? Yes. See, the data engineer, the first and foremost thing, right, is going to create a data warehouse for the particular organization. Data warehouse is the storage of structured and queryable data, the data from various resources, new user logs, clicks, existing customers' data. Data engineer going to structure the data, store it, and monitors it in data warehouse. Secondly, this data engineer will be keep communicating with the data scientist and data and the business team, right? For the data requirement. He has to keep in mind the business needs while dealing with the data in the hand. Data engineers, they keep constantly processing, analyzing, and monitoring the data. Yes. And also the data engineers make sure that the pipeline is always efficient and secure. They always say that the pipelines that created by the data engineers always is efficient and secure. This is the primary role of a data engineer. But if you see what are the various roles and responsibilities, right? Designing the entire data flow architecture and creating a data warehouse for storage of analytical data. The main role or main task of data engineer like ETL, is going to extract, transform, and load. ETL is one of the key tasks of data engineer. They need to extract data from multiple resources, transform it into structured queryable form, and load it into the company's storage service for further business evaluations by the data scientist. Data monitoring. Data monitoring, right? What is data monitoring? Data engineers make sure Data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed in a proper way. Okay. Data monitoring, right? Making sure that the ETL is performed in a proper way, and data should be available everywhere and anywhere where it is required. Data security is also a major responsibility. Data need to be secure at each step of the process without any data leaks or data exposures. Collaborating and communicating with the data scientist. They need to deliver, data engineers need to deliver the data as per that requirement. Analytics, they need to have, data engineers need to have some kind of analytical skills to perform this analysis, and also certain things need to be automated. such as like data extraction process. So these are the role of Azure data engineering. And I was talking about the data engineering products or services. Mainly used data engineering products or services. Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Streaming, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Key Vault. So I was in the previous class, I was discussing about Azure SQL in a simple way, cloud RDBMS of Microsoft. What is Azure SQL? It's a cloud RDBMS of Microsoft. In Azure, it is for OLTP operations. We have got Azure Data Lake, distributed file system with unlimited data storage. That is data lake. In HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, on-premise DFS. Similarly, we have got data lake, cloud DFS, right? It is a repository for large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. A repository for large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. Every cloud data lake provides some benefits. Every cloud data lake, what are the benefits means? First thing is unlimited data storage provided by these data lakes. Supports all varieties of data, structured, semi-structured, and structured data. Structured, organized in the form of rows and columns like DB tables, Excel files. Semi-structured data like XML, JSON. Unstructured data like images and videos. Supports all formats of the data. And why we go for the next one, right? Azure Synapse for data warehousing, right? So here, if you talk about storing data in the form of files, data lake, we cannot set up relationship between the file, one file to another file. We cannot set up relationship. For example, if the files are like this, EMP, DEPT, attendance, and salaries, we cannot maintain relationship between the files. If data in the tables, we can maintain relationship between this using primary key or foreign key. What is the relationship means? Order of what? A product book for whom? A customer. One second. Yes. So order of what? A product booked for whom? A customer once order confirmed, it's a sales transaction. So what I'm expecting, a cloud or DBMS. Already we got Azure SQL, but it is for OLTP, online transactional processing, but I want for analytical processing. But I want a cloud or DBMS, the two for data warehouse, the two I'm expecting parallel processing, that is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. So Azure Synapse Analytics, I was discussing in the last class for data warehouse operations, for big data operations, for analytics, for batch applications, for parallel processing. Here we have a database called, Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Here we have a database called Azure SQL Pool DB, Synapse DB, simply, right? What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse of Azure. What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse of Azure. Okay. Next is Azure Data Factory. It's one of the important component, right? So, simple, in a simple way, what is Azure Data Factory? We got Informatica, Data Stage, Talent. They are on-premises ETLs, but I want see a cloud-based ETL. ADF is a cloud-based ETL. Simply, I can say cloud-based ETL of Microsoft. For example, we have got some OLTP systems like Azure SQL, Oracle SQL Server, MySQL, MongoDB. We have got some data warehouse. In case of Azure, we have got Azure Synapse and other data warehouse systems like Teradata, Netija, Vertica. Teradata, Netija, Vertica are the data warehouse. ADF, it doesn't come in OLTP. ADF doesn't come in data warehouse. Between these two, you can see that ADF. It is an integration service. It is an integration service between this OLTP and data warehouse systems. It is a data ingestion. Going to take the data from this OLTP and dump into this data warehouse. It's a data ingestion service, you can say. It is integration, integrating OLTP and data warehouse. All transactions are captured at OLTP systems. All transactions captured at OLTP systems. How to bring these transactions into warehouse system? How to bring these transactions into warehouse systems? We have ETL by using ETL tools. Informatica, Data Stage, Talent, all these are on-premise ETL tools. But I need a ETL and cloud. That is what? ADF. Using ADF, we can connect with anything like cloud databases. You can connect cloud databases like Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud. Also, you can connect to non-cloud databases, NoSQL databases, non-cloud databases like Oracle, MySQL. Here it is ETL, but our working style is ELT. But our working style is ELT, extract, load, transform. ETL for small volumes, ELT for huge volumes of data. For huge volumes, ETL is bad. That's why we go for ELT. And I was just briefing about Azure Databricks. It's one of the other important component. It is a Apache Spark based data analytics platform. Apache Spark based data analytics platform. What is Spark? A very high speed processing execution model for processing huge data at quick time. If you see the Spark features, in-memory computation. What do you mean by in-memory computation? Means storage and processing both happening at the memory level, RAM level, right? Supports massive parallel process. Supports massive parallel process. Spark is 100 times faster than normal disk processing. Spark is 100 times faster than normal disk processing. I was showing you an example in the last class. Yahoo has taken a table of 100 TB consisting of 1024 columns. Test sorting based on 16 columns. Sorting based on 16 columns, that was the task. So what is the time taken by different databases? Oracle has taken 3.5 days to process. MySQL has taken 6 days to process. Teradata has taken 4.5 hours. And Netija has taken 3 hours. But the big data Hadoop has just taken minutes of time. These have taken days, these have taken hours, these have taken minutes of time. These have got okay. But Spark is 100 times faster than Hadoop. Spark is 100 times faster than Hadoop. Okay, this is what we have discussed. What do you mean by normal Databricks? What is Databricks? Normal Databricks. First, I'll talk about normal Databricks. What is Databricks? Normal Databricks provides a Spark cluster. Databricks provides a Spark cluster. Provides a Spark cluster in cloud. What is a cluster? What is a cluster? Group of systems. Group of systems nodes connected in a network. There are two types of nodes. There are two types of nodes. Driver node, worker node. We'll have one driver node. We'll have one driver node and multiple worker nodes. We'll have one driver node and multiple worker nodes. In Spark, data is divided. Data is divided into multiple partitions. These partitions are distributed across multiple RAMs of multiple data is divided into multiple partitions. These partitions are distributed across multiple RAMs of multiple worker nodes. They are distributed across multiple RAMs of multiple worker nodes. And these nodes will be running parallelly. And these nodes will be running. These nodes be running parallelly. Assume example. Assume We have 500 nodes. Assume we have 500 nodes. This 500 nodes cluster. This 500 nodes cluster is worthy. Understand, worthy processing 2 TB data at a time. For example, tomorrow your data volume increased. Tomorrow your data volume increased. If same cluster used, what happens? Hmm. Speed increases or decreases? Speed goes down. If same cluster is used, but the data is increased, if data volume increased, if same cluster used, speed goes down as data volume increased. As data volume increased. So what you do? So we need to scale up the cluster. So we need to scale up the cluster by adding new nodes. Assume you added 100 nodes. Assume you added 100 new nodes again, because as data is in, for example, a labor example, if you're running a business, for example, with the 10 systems, 10 nodes, your business has increased, means branches have increased, customers have increased, means your systems, means the nodes also need to be increased, right? Yes. So here also, if data increased, we need to increase the nodes. So every time data is increasing, every time you are increasing the nodes, that is the cluster capacity. So every time you are scaling up the cluster by adding 100 new nodes. Again, after 2 months, again, 100 nodes added. Every time scaling up your physical data center is a complex task. So that's why I need the same cluster. I need the same cluster in cloud, and that too. Okay, so that's why I need the same cluster in the cloud, and that too with auto scaling capability. Same cluster in the cloud, that too with auto scaling capability. Who is providing this? Who is providing this? Databricks. Who is providing this? Databricks is providing. What is no? Okay. Databricks provides a Spark Cloud Cluster auto scaling feature. So Databricks provides Spark Cloud Cluster with auto scaling feature. Means how this auto scaling works. Example, today my data load, it requires 100 nodes. It requires 100 nodes. For example, data volume increased. Today my data load requires 100 nodes. Tomorrow data volume increased. It has to be extended. It has to be extended to 200 automatically. Data volume increase, it has to be extended 200 automatically. After processing is completed again, tomorrow data volume increase, it has to be extended to 200 automatically. After processing is complete, again it has to revert back to 100 nodes. Auto scaling means whenever data increase, it has to be extended. Again, not required, again it has to revert back to this original capacity, right? This is general data bricks. This is I'm talking of, this is general data bricks. It cannot interact with it cannot interact with my Azure storage services. What is that? What is general Databricks? It cannot interact with Azure storage services. We've got Azure storage like Azure Data Lake, Azure SQL, Azure Synapse. With this Azure storage services, it cannot interact. Regular Databricks is not compatible. It is not compatible with all the Azure services. That's why Microsoft plus Databricks, they collaboratively launched a product, they launched a new product called Azure Databricks. Collaborative launched a new product called Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks, ADB. It is a Spark cluster. Azure Databricks, it is a Spark cluster with auto scaling and compatible with all the Azure data storage services, right? Understand. Spark cluster with auto scaling and compatible with all the Azure data storage. It can interact with all the Azure data storage services like Azure Data Lake, Azure SQL. With all this, it can interact. So normal Databricks also you can do, but with lot of other settings, we need to call different APIs for that. So this Databricks is not only for Azure, we have got this Databricks available for the other AWS and then for Google also, right? In Databricks, who is processing the data? Here, who is processing the data in the Databricks? Spark. Okay. So here, Spark is the main execution engine here. Main execution engine. Yes, you are a developer you provide instructions to process the data in the form of coding to perform complex transformations. This is what Azure Databricks. So Databricks providing a cluster, Spark cluster with auto scaling capability. But for interacting with the Azure storages, so we have got Azure Databricks. So here, generally, if you talk about ADF and ADF versus ADB, right? ADF and ADB, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks. In ADF, we have two versions. In ADF, we have two versions. ADF version 1, ADF version 1, ADF version 2. In ADF version 2, we got a new feature, data flows. But when data flows are submitted, data flows are submitted, data flows are internally converted into Databricks jobs. Data flows are internally converted into Databricks jobs. In ADF, we have got data flows. The data flows, when they are submitted, they're internally converted into Databricks job. Here, I no need to write any Databricks code. Here, I no need to write any Databricks code. Execution is not done by ADF. Execution is not done by ADF. Execution done by Databricks. Okay. So, okay, internally in ADF, The data flows are converted into Databricks job and executed, and execution is not done by ADF. Execution is done by Databricks. So again, why again separate developer required for Databricks means if you want to develop some custom functionalities, if you want to develop some custom function, we require Databricks developer. Okay. Okay. So here that is Azure Databricks. Next is Azure Streaming. See, previously ADF and ADB I was discussing, right? In the case of Azure Streaming, capturing and processing, capturing and processing high volumes of streaming data, capturing high streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously, capturing and processing high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously. What do you mean by streaming data? Data which keeps on generating, data which keeps on incrementing. Such data we call it as streaming data. So just and like we have got another like Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Cosmos DB. Hmm. In a simple way, Azure Cosmos DB is nothing but Azure cloud-based NoSQL database. Azure cloud-based NoSQL database, not only SQL, right? Not only SQL, cloud-based. NoSQL database. Hmm. NoSQL, not only SQL, schemaless behavior, record to record, different number of fields you can maintain. First record with 4 fields, second record with 6 fields, third record with 8 fields, fourth record with 10 fields. Record to record, different number of fields can be maintained here in the case of NoSQL. But in SQL, right, first record to last record, same number of columns you need to maintain. But here record to record, different number of fields can be maintained. And next, like Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault. Secure key management to protect the data in the cloud. Secure key management to protect the data in the cloud. So these are the main Azure data engineering products or services I was discussing, right? Yes. So here, mm, Azure SQL in a single word, it's a cloud or DBMS. Azure Data Lake, it's a file system, distributed file system, unlimited storage. Azure Synapse Analytics for data warehouse operations, for big data operations, for analytics. Azure Data Factory, Cloud ETL, cloud-based ETL. Azure Databricks, Apache Spark-based data analytics platform. Azure Streaming, capturing and processing high streams of capturing and processing, right? high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously. Azure Cosmos DB, cloud-based NoSQL database. Okay, cloud-based NoSQL database, Azure Key Vault, secure key management to protect the data in the cloud. So these are the different Azure data engineering products. Okay. So as part of our course, right? As part of our course, yesterday I was briefing you, right? So I'll be discussing this Azure Data Engineer. In that, the major discussion like Azure Data Factory. We'll be discussing about Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory, right? It's a zero coding ETL. It is a zero coding ETL, right? No coding. It's a code free. No prerequisites. No coding. Zero coding ETL tool, right? Everything drag and drop. 100% drag and drop. In previously in Informatica, 80% drag and drop, 20% used to write some SQL scripts, but here 100% drag and drop. You don't need to write a single line code in ADF. Everything will be drag and drop. Yes. So yes, if you want to step into the company, you can go it as a ADF developer, as a Databricks developer, as a PySpark developer, as a data engineer, right? But this Databricks and PySpark has got a great boom today. If you have got knowledge on Databricks and PySpark, you can see like huge packages given, especially like Databricks was talking about Apache Spark based data analytics platform. And also I'll be discussing about PySpark in brief in this course, unlike other training sites. Azure Synapse Analytics single stop solution, and you'll be getting the knowledge about this Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, and then Fabrics. So these are the major discussions we'll be discussing, right? So the course will be around 3 months. We'll be discussing with this. You can check the course content once. So tomorrow the link will be changed. You're supposed to get enrolled for getting the link. Uh, from tomorrow, a WhatsApp group will be created. You'll be added to the WhatsApp group. Videos you'll be getting to your Google Drives, notes to your mails. So you can once check this right course content starting with Azure Data Factory. You can just check with this. Everything will be, you can do all the tasks parallelly along with me during the sessions. All the tasks you can do parallelly along with me during the sessions, hands-on sessions, right? If any error, you will be sharing the screen. All the sessions will be interactive sessions. You'll be responding, right? If any errors, you'll be sharing the screen. So ADF top level concepts, pipelines, activities, link service, data sets, triggers, linked service, data sets, activities, different types of activities, triggers, scheduling, yeah, integration runtimes, data flows, different types of transformations, and around 50 exercises we'll be discussing, that practical exercises, around 50 exercises we'll be discussing in brief. And Azure Databricks, before I go with Databricks, I'll be providing knowledge on big data, Hadoop, Spark. And because this big data Hadoop has brought a revolution in distributed computation, basics of this cloud computations, and Databricks cluster management, displaying cluster, starting cluster, terminating cluster, creating cluster, cluster logs, types of cluster, Databricks pool, cluster modes, Databricks utilities, Databricks integration with this, handling multiple file formats, Databricks batch processing, Stream API, Databricks lakehouse, workflows in Databricks. Similarly for Synapse, you can just check with this Synapse node. And also I'll be discussing about Fabrics. Okay. So you'll be getting each and every session video offerings from my side. You'll be getting live session videos each and every session video. Even if you miss any session, you will get the recording. You can check the recording, attend the next session for the better understanding. Soft copy of this class notes you will be getting, clear soft copy of this notes, assignments and tasks to work, and a WhatsApp group for technical discussions where you can have direct interaction with me. Interactive questions, sorry, interview questions, around 200 interview questions I'll be providing, live interactive hands-on sessions. I said you can do the tasks along with me parallelly. So these are the offerings from my side and from DurgaSoft. So I'll be discussing Python syntaxes, but still if you Python, this DurgaSoft also providing you with some Python videos where you can go through for better command on that. MySQL videos. Let me make it clear about the timing of this batch. For the first 1 week, it will be at 11 a.m. After 1 week, it will be starting at 10 a.m. Right? So I'm making it clear about the timings of this batch before you go with the payment process. You can see in the chart a big message is given by this online team. They have provided their contact details, the course content details. Check it. Contact details. If anyone missed yesterday's session, the demo video is available. You can copy that link, go through that. If you have got any concerns, like 4 mobile numbers are provided, payment details are given, Google Pay, Phone Pay details are given, right? Okay.
Uh,
And
sir,
one more.
is there a new batch for 11 a.m. In upcoming weeks or 15 days?
See, actually, students they were asking that it was at 11 only, but most of them were asking for to shift to 10 a.m. so that they'll attend the class and go to their offices, right? Yes. So that's the reason it was shifted to 10. Most of the students were asking for the same 10 a.m., right? So it will be from 10 to 11. It will be
Okay, okay.
okay. Fine. So everything in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing about it. And even if you talk about this job market, right? About this AD. See, if you see, I was already saying like if you got knowledge on this, especially Databricks with PySpark, with the knowledge of this PySpark, right? Great salary packages for this. Even you can see the salary packages 1.5 times more than the other technologies. See, lakhs of companies are getting registered themselves on the Azure. More than 95% of these Fortune 500 companies are utilizing Azure cloud services. They are in turn increasing the number of job opportunities for Azure data engineers. See, and already organizations, many organizations, they are shifted to Azure and they are regularly in need of professionals who can work on Azure and handle huge data. Even the pay scales I was talking, right? Data engineers has got the highest average salary as closely as data scientists. The two highest paying jobs, data engineering and data scientist jobs, right? The two highest paying jobs. Yes. Many companies, right? Many companies, if we talk, they're hiring data engineers with a great salary packages. They're offering high paying jobs to data engineers, right? Yes. So it's a better career if you want to just shift your career, right? So everything practical oriented, you can do everything along with me parallelly during the sessions. It's a 2 3 months course. Fine. Any other queries, right? Anyone, right? Ishan, right? Yes, but definitely here once you go through this, we will be getting the full command. A typical 3+4+ years of experience person, how much knowledge is going to get, that much of knowledge you people are going to gain during this course. Once you attend any of the interview, you can just go through, get to the interview process. That command you are going to get on this course. And in most of the other training sites, they might be they might be giving overview on this PySpark, but we'll be discussing in brief about the PySpark here because Spark is the main execution in on ADF in Databricks and Synapse. And all this PySpark is the main executions model, right? Yes. Okay. So today, if you see from the last 1 year, and if we go back, if we go to the next up by 2026, scope for the fresher also last in the previous batch, two of my freshers has got jobs in that. So in TCS, because freshers also, right, whenever you are showcasing that you have got knowledge on this, all this as this data engineering high level components like data factory, Azure Databricks, PySpark, Synapse. If you are keeping all this in your resumes, they would definitely, you will be the first choice, right, for the fresher. All the freshers might be having that lower level technologies, right? But if you are keeping some high level technologies in your resume, if you are showcasing, if they ask the queries, if you have got the command, you will be the first choice, right, in getting to the process. So that's the reason, right? So that too, you will be having a lot of experience in this. So as I said, the previous batch, the freshest two of the students has got directly, they were kept into the project because they have got without training, right? Because they have got a lot of command in the subject, so they were assigned with the project. So here also you will be getting that much. This, the only thing is you need to do that daily. You need to do the practicals that day itself. In any queries you can ask in the start of the next session, during the session. If you got any error, you'll also go through that all that where that errors may occur and how to resolve those errors, right? Yes. Shubnita Sharma, right? Yes. So yes. Sumita Sharma, right? Yes. See this currently in the industry, right? Even though there is a, what we say, even though there are many layoffs going on in the companies, right? But today, if you see the technologies which are having high boom in the market today, which has got a great boom, and that is data engineering and data science technologies, right? Data engineering and data science are the two emerging, the two technologies, right, which we are going to see in the future also, right? So data engineer is a kind of technology which has got a great boom today, right? And also in the future, because total data engineer is going to play with the data. He is going to perform all the data related operations. Even a typical data scientist depends on a data engineer, right? So he need to pull the data, you need to extract the data from different sources, transform. So all this you will be learning in this course, right? Yes. Here I'll be showing you how you can pull the data from on-premises databases into Azure cloud, how we perform those operations. It looks very simple. You don't need to write huge codings here. ADF anyhow it is zero coding, and other things also it looks simple. Python is basics of Python, basics of SQL is enough. Even if it doesn't have knowledge on Python, I said I'll be discussing the syntaxes of Python before we go with the practicals of Azure Databricks PySpark. Okay. Okay. Fine. Any other queries, right? Yes. So get enrolled for getting this notes, videos. As I said, tomorrow a WhatsApp group will be created. You will be added to that WhatsApps, and videos daily will be getting to your Google Drive. Notes you will be getting, clear notes will be provided, right? Yes, see that a big message given by this online team, their contact details, their payment details, everything they are provided. Don't forget, see most of the students, they do a mistake. They get enrolled, but they have given a note, the online team, right? If you got enrolled, don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to that mail ID provided. Then only they'll be forwarding the link to you. So just after doing the payment, don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to that mail ID which is given, right? So tomorrow it will be at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow it will be, so I said for the first 1 week it will be at 11 o'clock. Later it will be starting at 10 o'clock, right? Yes. So yes. Yes, today's notes. So clear notes, everything will be given, right? Yes, will be provided. Yes, fine. Fine. So if I'm done with the queries, if there are no other queries, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow at 11 o'clock, but the link is changed, right? Yes. Fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Bye.